Very warm and hearty welcome to all of you to the webinar on ESOP for growth of companies, being organized as a part of our knowledge sharing initiative. Today is the 64th webinar and we wish to thank all of you being part of our journey of knowledge sharing. I wish to welcome all our learned panelists from the corporate for joining us today to share their experience on the issue of ESOP and how these have helped their companies and the employees. I'm indeed thankful to them for joining us today. Friends, following international trend and practices, several Indian companies, especially in the field of information technology and IT-enabled services, in order to attract, nurture, and retain the talented workforce, started setting aside some portion of shares to the employee as a part of remuneration policy. This became a trend in companies in other sector also, and from well-established company to startup and from listed company to unlisted company, both public and private, they have started. Today, when we see the ESOP, it was earlier is a small topic. Now it has become a complete industry. If I can see, there's various type of ESOP are popular now. The employee stock option scheme, or stock appreciation right, phantom, sweat equity, a SAR, stock appreciation rights scheme, general employee benefit scheme, restricted benefit scheme. Various things are popular and new instruments are coming into picture. Global trend is also there, global variant is also there, where they are talking of the RSU, restricted stock unit, RSA, restricted stock award. So these are the two popular variant popular in the other part of the world. In ESOP today, if you want to give ESOP, it's not just only one regulation. You have to follow the income tax. You have to plan according to income tax also. Company law you have to follow. SEBI law, share-based employee benefit and certificate, which is recently amended, that you have to follow. FEMA law you have to check. Accounting is standard in AS 102. Graded vesting, modification and cancellation, group trust, all these things you have to work out. Then trust route. So you have to follow the trust rules also. Valuation, fair market value and intrinsic value. These are the few things which is a part of the system which you have to do. Companies in India are now increasingly offering equity-based compensation plan for the employee, with a view to reward them and to give them a sense of belongingness to the company to align their vision with that of the company. Generally, listed companies consider ESOP for the following key reasons. One is they make the market pays the upside to its employee, not there's no need to cash you have to pay. There is no cash outflow for the company, help in retaining the attracting talent, provides sense of ownership to the company, employee, facilitate wealth creation for the employees. Now, these are certain advantages which listed companies are getting. As per our experience under the domain from the past few years, we have analyzed the following point. Now, the point is key object of employee remain in retention of the employee, because ESOP they are giving majority for the retention. Equity share are preferred under employee benefit plan as compared to cash incentive. Companies prefer one type of plan as compared to multiple plan. Fresh allotment of equity is preferred. Pool of ESOP for unlisted company, startup is around 10 to 15%, but listed company, this pool is not more than 5%. As percentage trend going, companies prefer to give a stock option at a fair market price rather than with the discount because of tax planning. The preferred vesting period range from 3 years to 5 years, and exercise period from 1 to 2 years. Then key senior executives are getting. Companies are reviewing stock ownership plan annually to assess the impact assessment. Trust route is not preferred. Vesting and exercise period is preferred at 3 to 5 years. And most of the companies are following for the hiring strategy. That is the things going on. If we are doing regular survey of the market, recently we have done when the new law was in the process of amending. So we took the view of the public that so we can tell the SEBI that these are the changes which market require. So, and other survey we are doing with our clients and general public also and the professional. So we have identified that in IT sector, this is the highest number of ESOP if you compare to number 2 manufacturing, then financial services, and then healthcare and energy and real estate. This is a trend which is popular, and remaining others are also doing. So you can understand it is very popular in IT sector. Then 3 to 4 years, ESOP have become prevalent in private sector companies. However, with the boom in capital market, new IPO listed companies are also moving towards the ESOP world. So earlier, private companies were giving this, public company was not doing this, and public listed companies, now this is a popular frame. So previously, ESOP was connected to the new startup and new companies, but now it is popular everywhere. Now, stock option plan is most popular, then restricted stock unit, then share purchase, then share appreciation right. Sweet equity is also not very popular, and restricted stock award, and then all other things. So these are the popular things which are there. Now, 85% company believes single plan because they think that multiple plan creates confusion. Now, the very important thing, to whom they are giving incentive. So if comparison of incentivization, it is seen that key senior executives are getting, it is not still very popular amongst the general employee. Selected employee they are giving, all employees, very few companies, and managerial staff they are giving, and consultant and advisors as per the rule they are providing. Now the one most important thing, you can understand that slowly the various companies have started giving stock options to their employees and multiple employees, and the big companies are there where 100, 200, 500, 1000 people are there, and some of them are not having any stock market experience, and some of them are not aware of various things. So there was an answer that how companies are managing this ESOP process in their company. So 42% companies are saying Excel worksheet they are following, 32% are using external software, and 20% in-house software, and 7% other they are using. Now this is very important to understand today, that Excel worksheet cannot work along, because you have to provide to the employee various things. They want to see what is my value today, what is the impact, what are the, when I will do the vesting, and when I should do exercise, so tax planning and other things they have to do. So they have to follow some external software, and that Moni will tell what are the software available in the market and how people are taking advantage. Now the companies have started, not only they are providing, but they have started impact assessment also. So company year on a year basis assess impact on ESOP scheme vis-a-vis objective there which they have formed. Their purpose is hiring, whether it is fulfilling. Their purpose is to give a feeling that is fulfilling or not. A periodical analysis would help companies to identify and plug loopholes, if any, to safeguard their interest, because you have brought out some scheme, and if the scheme is not fulfilling, you must see this, that how the impact assessment can take place. Further, periodic review of the regulatory aspect should also be taken care by its, and it will help company to ensure that they are compliant in each and every aspect. So just now I have told you, you have to follow FEMA law, income tax, you have to follow the company law, security law, you have to follow the other things also, accounting standard, so that you have to continuously do and do the compliance, because now this is becoming one of the tool in the hands of the company. Now friends, if I see the global trend, because I was reading one study, and they are also saying that what is their preferred choice. So they are emphasizing that as a part of hiring strategy, they are giving ESOP. So HR division is managing here. Here the secretarial division and finance division is managing, but here mostly HR division is doing, because that is a very popular instrument. So they do the performance condition they put. If your performance is not there, they will not give you the more share, or they can withdraw it also. Now, most important thing, which is very interestingly, I read misconduct. So They have a scheme that if an employee is doing misconduct, so their entire ESOP is forfeited. So that is one condition which can implement in India also, and people can take advantage that if I will do something, I will lose the huge amount. Deferred bonus. So sometimes the tax aspect is there, and you require money in future, not today. So that is also one deferred bonus retirement scheme can be there. In other part of the world, nil or nominal cost is there, but very not very popular in USA because of tax issue. So we all know worker ownership is radically democratic. Every person wants to own something and work for himself. Still, the ultimate test of employee ownership is how well ESOP affect corporate performance and contribute to the growth of the company. Giving ESOP is very easy, but impact assessment is very important. In today's webinar, we will discuss about the benefit of ESOP to the employee and the employees, and as to how these plans help in growing of the companies, in improving productivity, performance, and lowering employee turnover rate. So today's program, we have invited various persons from the industry. We will ask them appraisal process for deciding the employee for grant of option, level of management covered in the ESOP in the company, type of scheme extended to the employee, objective of giving ESOP to employee, price and benefit extended to them. These are the points which we want to discuss. And to discuss these issues, we have invited a very learned panelist today. And these all people, all 4 and 5 people, those who are there, they will share their experience. They all are implementing ESOP in their company. They have given, they are managing, and they are seeing the what is the impact has taken place in the company. And they are, all companies are growing companies. That is the best example. So today we want to take their view. So I welcome first Mr. R.N. Malu. He is our speaker and he's a rank holder chartered accountant having 35 years experience in audit, tax, finance, and investor relationship. He started his career in the Kalani and Company, reputed chartered accountant firm. After 10 years of practice, he moved to the industry. He worked as a CFO in textile, steel, real estate, and FMCG company. Presently, he is the executive director of Group CFO of Surya Roshni Limited. We welcome Mr. Malu. Then we have Mr. Rajiv Gupta, who is a chartered accountant and working in executive director, finance, and CFO of KEI Industry. During the last 28 years in the company, he has been part of the top leadership team in the company and has been led the company's finance function and provide stewardship in the area of finance strategy, performance, and law and management, large and complex financing in India and overseas. He is frequent speaker at various seminars. He is one of the industry's best CFO, awarded in 2016 most influential CFO of India by Chartered Institute of Management Accountant. He is associated with ISKCON and member of Rotary Club India, Mayur Bihar. We welcome you, Rajiv Gupta ji. Then Mr. Prasanna Tilak. He is CS and hold master degree in finance and accounting and bachelor of business management. He is also certified associate of Indian Institute of Banker. He has more than 14 years experience in various sectors like IT, ES, manufacturing, IT, sugar, power, banking. Currently working Karnataka Bank as a company secretary. He has handled public issue assignment like right issue, bond issue, delisting, due diligence process, and equity and argument, and ESOP, etc. He was the chairman of Mangalore chapter of company secretary chapters. We welcome you, Prasanna, for this program. Then we have Abhinav Gupta. He has joined APL Apollo Group as Chief Strategic Officer in 2019 with a focus on strengthening its strategic capabilities while also identifying and evaluating innovative opportunity for the company in the longer run. He also advised the corporate development, communication, and marketing of the APL Apollo brand, aimed at creating a strong positioning of the company with the domestic and global market. He has also over 12 years experience in fundamental research analysis in investment world, including leadership position across investment advisory and investment banking group. And then, so we welcome Anubhav Gupta for your experience and your knowledge relating to this subject will be helpful to you. Then our last speaker is Ms. Mohini Bashne. She is partner and head of ESOP services. and she exclusively works in ESOPs in corporate profession. She is having a 18 years experience, and she works in ESOP and insider trading law, and she has separate division, and she has a depth knowledge of share-based employee plan along with in-depth advisory, opinion, education. And her client include over companies comprising listed, unlisted, startup, and MNC. And she has done work in more than 200 companies related to various ESOP schemes since beginning. So we welcome all our speakers for today's program. And without taking much time now, I will request Mohini to just start this, and then the other speaker will start, and then we will have a question answer session with the public. We have received around 18 questions already. So I will ask one by one these questions. Yeah, Mohini, please. Unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. So today we are going to discuss a topic on ESOPs. That means wherein we are sharing, the companies are sharing their stock, their equity with their employees. So what the ESOP is? So ESOP is, so what the ESOP means? So first we start with the definition. So ESOP means a right which is being given to an employee to have the equity shares at a future date in that company at a predetermined price. That means we are giving them the ESOPs whereby these options, once they are fulfilling few conditions, they become the owner of the company along with the promoters, existing promoters and the other investors. So they have their objective aligned with the company's other shareholders at that moment. Why the ESOPs are being given? Definitely there are various reasons for giving these ESOPs to attract, to encourage, to self-motivate those employees. So these are the basic reasons which we can discuss later on as well. So why the ESOPs are being given? So ESOPs are used by the companies in different stages of growth for various benefits. So even now, it's a trend that the company, whether it's a small or it's a big company, a big listed house, big groups, every company is looking for the benefit of the ESOPs which they are giving. So the companies which are at a very startup and initial stages, they have the other reasons for giving the ESOPs. The companies who are at a growth stage and picking up for the future IPO or other activities for the funding line, they are also having the various regions for the giving ESOPs. Then the listed company, definitely they also want to grow in a next phase. So they are also offering the ESOPs to their employees. So why the reason of this? Basically to attract, reward, motivate, and retain. That is the one of the main reason. But because of the COVID ecosystem which emerged since last 1.5 years or so, it has become relevant for the large group of companies like startup ecosystem and the various big business houses as well, that they want to attract and retain the talent in such a scenario where the economic conditions are not good for the companies, but they want to attract the talent at that time. So for attracting a good talent, for retaining them, and instead they are not being able to pay at that time the compensation in the form of a cash, they want some other tool to compensate and to keep their employees motivated. So these are the reason why the ESOPs have gained importance in this COVID era as well. Definitely it increased because impact assessment is definitely necessary, but what we have seen in the companies that when they have given the ESOPs, it has increased the job satisfaction among the employees, because now they are feeling associated with the increase in the value of the company. Earlier, they will be giving ESOPs because of they are being given the incentives in the form of commission or any percentage of their achievement. But now, being a participant in the value of the company, they are getting an increased job satisfaction with them. Then definitely it's a deferred compensation strategy, as we discussed that during the economic slowdown and all. By deferring today any salary to any person or a compensation to any person, we can offer them the ESOPs, and at a later stage, when as the company grow, they can definitely get good returns from this equity. And last but not the least, that the employees' interest will get aligned with the long-term goal of the company. So what are the benefits of ESOPs for the employers and the companies? Definitely, attrition rate, they have found that it has been decreased, because now they be able to attract more talent in their organization, and giving them ESOPs is a part of it, not a cash in the sense. Then definitely, when you are deferring the payment of any compensation, so you are saving on cash. So the companies, specifically in this particular time of last 1.5 years, they've been able to channelize the funds in other priority areas, and simultaneously they've been able to satisfy their employees by offering them equity, and which they can later on and cash it from the events which come during the journey of the company. And the retention of the employees with excellent performance they have seen, and it's the benefit which the companies are getting out of it. How the employees are getting the benefit? Definitely, earlier they do not feel any association with the company except for the remuneration which they are getting in the form of a salary, or a fixed salary, or a variable pay, which is generally linked with their performance, a specific individual performance. But when they are being given a participation in the equity and ownership of a company, they are creating a wealth as a promoter, and other people and other investors are creating through investing in the company. So they're investing their time. When we are giving them equity, they are also getting a same kind of wealth creation in the equity form as well. Now, because they become the owner, so they can feel in the same manner, and it has been seen in the companies that they have grown professionally. The people have gone very professionally in this manner when they have been given ESOPs. And stock monetization definitely been able to give them a far better result rather than regular remuneration, because regular remuneration increases in a particular manner in a company based upon your performance and all. But when the entire company grows and you have invested in a stock of your company where you are associated, you are giving your time, so the company ultimately grows. So that stock monetization is giving a far more return than the regular remuneration. And so this is that why the ESOPs are being given. In the present scenario, as earlier I discussed, that why it is being become more prevalent and why it is being a good tool of compensation nowadays. Definitely it helps in managing the liquidity in the company, because it's a non-monetary compensation, and the company can definitely make this money to be utilized for other purposes as well. And there are various forms of ESOPs are there. So it's not a one particular traditional vanilla kind of a plan which you can offer. There are many forms, and the many ways of giving an equity participations are coming nowadays in India. And the companies are using it for remunerating their employees and for attracting the high talent. Then definitely the stock prices are increasing. We can see even for the listed company, we can easily see from the stock market that the price of the companies are increasing. So when you are giving them an equity participation, the employees will be getting that liquidity from the market as well. And similarly for the unlisted companies, if we go, the startups, which are now big startups now, unicorns, and they are going for the listing. So the employees of those companies are also getting a good liquidity options at this time. Definitely it's become a lucrative value to key employees, because when the event comes, they will be getting an equal return as the other investors are getting. And definitely not only you are saving on cash, the companies are getting a tax benefits out of it, and the employees are also not being taxed today when they are getting the ESOP, so the taxation also being deferred for the future date and it depends upon the appreciation which they are getting. So these are the two aspects of the ESOPs, that why the things are being now, ESOPs are gaining more and more interest in the present economy. Because many organizations are on their IPO journey or for the new further investments, because now the India is getting more and more investments from various from the other parts of the world as well. And within India also the investments has increased. So there are many companies in the unlisted or the startups scenario, we say they have increased their ESOPs pool. So how they have done, like the Paytm news is there that Paytm has increased their ESOP pool from 24.0 million options to 61 million options. Similarly, ShareChat has also increased their uh, pool to from 460 to 513 crores. So we can see that how much they are, but if they are getting and reaping the benefit out of these ESOPs, this is the reason why the people, whether these companies are thinking and getting the sense of that how the ESOPs are helping them. So they are increasing the pool on a nowadays and covering more and more employees on in this ESOP bracket. And similarly, following the same pattern, in last 9 months, Bank Bazaar has also increased their pool. Ola, which is also planning for an IPO. So before this IPO, they have also uh, announced a more allocation of their from their capital for the stock options to their employees. OI has also, which is giving an ESOP since its inception, we can say they have also increased their pool in the recent 9 months as well. And Mojilex also has increased their pool, and they have included more than 300 employees in their kitty of ESOPs. Typically, as in the listed, so ESOPs, when you are getting, it's on a paper, but actual benefit out of it you will reap, and the employee will reap only when they will be getting a liquidation and an exit, or you can say exit in the exit from an equity. That means liquidity option or a buyback option if they will be getting. In the listed company, the stock market is always be available. You can the employee after exercising their ESOPs can definitely go in the market and can sell off their equity shares and get the value which is running in the market. But in an unlisted company, there is no per se a kind of a stock market is there where the employee can go and freely transfer their shares. So nowadays, gaining the as the ESOPs are gaining importance, promoters, companies, and investors are also taking this as a thing that why not in the unlisted companies the buyback and liquidity options are being provided. The reason, and because of this reason, many employees in the unlisted company have getting the liquidity options. And before IPO, even they are not the companies which have come out with an IPO. Before IPO, they have given the exits to their employees in terms of redeeming them their stock options or by purchasing their shares. A few examples during the last 9 months are like ShareChat. They have given a buyback of $19.1 million. Then Udan has given the buyback of exercise of ESOPs by worth of around 165 to 175 crore. Cashify again has announced their buyback plan in March, and they have made a buyback of $1 million. Cred has also completed their buyback in January 21, and they have redeemed along 9 crore of ESOPs. Reserve Pay again for 750 employees, they have come out with this ESOPs liquidity, and they have given a buyback worth of $10 million. And similarly, Wakefit has also given an ESOP buyback of 15 crores. So we can see from the nowadays a trend has that not only a employee who is in the listed company will get an exit from their ESOPs or for a liquidity in their ESOPs. The employees who are working in an unlisted company can also get good liquidity options from the companies. So a simple case study, if we take that how the employee will be getting a benefit of these ESOPs. So recently the company Zomato get listed. They have given their options, and one option is equal to 1 equity shares. In between in April, they have announced one bonus issue, and the bonus issue has given them the option holder a right that from one option they can convert it get converted into around 6,700 equity shares. So one option earlier, which is for 1 equity share, now they are become eligible for one option for 6,700 equity shares, and their exercise price is ₹1. So upon exercise, which when the employee will exercise, the employee will be getting against one option, these 6,700 equity shares. And if we take the market price, today's market price, considering today's market price, like 136 rupees, definitely the one person, if exercising one option, will be getting in around 9 lakh rupees of benefit. So from this, we can think of that if the person get associated since the beginning of the company and is associated and is contributing towards the growth of the company, they are also, the company is not only getting a benefit out of it, definitely the employee is also getting a share in this wealth creation as well. So when we are talking about that, how the equity is getting, how equity participation is giving a benefit to the employees. So the important thing comes is that what are the benefits? Definitely we have done. So, but what are the types of the schemes which are available? Benefit schemes are available. So first is definitely the most prevalent one, that is the ESOPs, employee stock option plan. Then there is a one stock appreciation right, which is also gaining an importance. And stock appreciation right, either we settle in the form of an equity, and if the company wants, they can also settle these appreciation right in the form of a cash, which in the market known as a phantom stock as well. Then RSUs, restricted stock units, which is very much prevalent other part of the world, but like in US and all. But now in India, RSUs are also gaining importance, and for the key managerial persons, companies are giving these RSU stocks. Then for giving and making an employee an immediate partner with you, the partner of a company, the employee stock purchase plan is also gaining importance, but not so much. But ESOPs, SARs, and RSUs are now become a very are now being used for in the various companies for giving this equity participation. When we are designing any ESOP scheme, so we have to there are a few points and the practical considerations which every company and the management have to keep in mind, like what type of employee they want to cover, what type of plan they want to give, what the period of vesting they want to keep in their ESOPs, and what kind of conditions they want to put on the employee to get that right on the ESOPs. Then what the price the employee will going to pay you when they are exercising, like exercise price. What will be the time period will be given to an employee to exercise those rights? What the route they want to, route means they want direct equity to be given to an employee, or they want some trust structure to be there in between for giving that benefit to an employee. Then whether the company want that once they become shareholder, they should have their equity locked in for a few years or few months, so that there must be a good increase in their wealth. So these are the practical consideration. And along with that, the important one for the unlisted companies and exit plan. In the listed company, exit plan is not much important because the employee companies are listed. But in an unlisted plan, the management also has to give an exit plan and liquidity plan and buyback options to the employees. So when that will be, when the event will come, what event will be considered as the liquidity option for the employee. So these all things need to be decided when you are giving this ESOP plan and you are framing the ESOP plans in the so nowadays, even the regulator is also taking the same in the same way as the industry is taking this ESOPs. So the recent, if we go, so SEBI has also come out with new regulations, and into 2021. Previously, it was of 2014. Now, in SEBI has also changed because of the various multiple suggestions they are receiving and getting from the stakeholders. So they have changed this regulation. The major changes in this regulations are they have changed the definition of employee, whereby they have widened the scope of this employee coverage. Now the listed company can give an ESOPs not only to their employee, their holding and their subsidiary company employee, they can also offer their ESOPs to their associate as well as a group company employees. Then earlier there was no provision in the listed companies that they can change their route in the scheme. That means if they have opted for a direct route, they cannot change their route from direct to trust. But now it has been allowed that through shareholder approval, they can do so. the companies who have acquired the shares from the secondary market for giving and passing on to these benefits to the employee. In those cases, the shares, whatever the company has purchased from the market, they have to appropriate those shares in a time period of 1 year earlier, which now being extended to 2 years. That means a more time has been given to think for the to the companies to check out the appraisal and the eligibilities for the companies. Then to give the benefit, even the SEBI has taken this thing that in the vesting case, so the death in the permanent incapacity cases, the company can immediately give this benefit to their legal heirs. Similarly, utilization of funds can be done, which is remain in the trust for other schemes as well. In the listed and the unlisted companies, as we have seen that the buyback stock options are there, but now in the listed companies, there were no clarity on these issues. So the SEBI has made now the listed companies can also frame their buyback of stock option plans, that how they want to. And so these are the main in the SEBI field we are getting there. Now in the bank, for the banks, and the RBI has also issued similarly a compensation plan for their full-time directors, CEO, market risk takers, and control function staff. And the banks covered under this RBI guidelines for this compensation, wherein the ESOPs are given this importance, wherein this private sector bank, local areas bank, small finance bank, and payment banks, and they are being given in this that there must be a cash payment, non-cash, upward and deferred, and this the ESOPs are being made a part of it, that they mandatorily on the variable factor they have to give a part as an ESOPs. There are a few exemptions for the startups because startups are giving the ESOPs to their companies, to their employees. Sorry. So what are the exemptions are being given to the startups to facilitate them to give more and more participation to the employees? So under the Companies Act, the sweat equity shares can be given up to 50%, which is not for the normal companies. So startup companies can give their sweat equity participation up to 50%. Then similarly, under the Income Tax Act, for the startup, the employees will be given a time period to defer their income tax payment upon exercise. So they have been given time period which they can extend even up to the sale of such shares. Similarly, definitely in the SEBI also for the innovators growth platform, the persons who are giving sweat equity, they have given relaxation to those companies who are getting listed, startups who are getting listed on innovator growth platform, to give more than 15% in a particular year. So when we talk about, so these are the ESOPs and how we can give, and what are the various pros and cons, and why the gaining is important. Once you have launched and given an ESOPs, so definitely the question comes is the management, because now the base of the employees are increasing day by day. So there are many, so the people who are managing on Excel, definitely they can manage, but there are tools which are available to assist the companies for managing their ESOPs. So we also in the corporate professionals have developed a system known as ESOP Guardian. It's a web-based application through which you can manage your entire ESOP ecosystem and the ESOP life cycle under this tool. So all the statutory reports, all the ESOP reports, exercise, acceptances, grant letters, all things are online on this tool. The companies which are using tool is more than 70 companies, and these are the key client base on this. So thank you from my side. Yeah,
thank you very much, Moini, to covering and giving this. Now, my first speaker, Mr. Anubhav Gupta. Mr. Anubhav Gupta, we want to understand from you, because your company has given ESOP, and you are the investment banker also, and you are not the only professional, but you are a strategic professional. So what is your experience in your company where you have given ESOP, and overall point of view? Over to you, Abhinav. You have to unmute yourself, please.
Am I audible well now?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, let me just open my presentation. Right. I hope this is visible well.
It started screen, but nothing. Yes. Yes, visible. Carry on.
Perfect. So thanks to team of corporate professionals for having us here. It's a pleasure to talk about APL Apollo's journey. We are very proud that we had this policy of ESOPs, and it has paid quite well for the overall organization. And we believe this is one of the main driving force in the growth what we have seen for our group. So, so if you see, uh, I mean, today what APL Apollo stands for in the structural steel tube space, we have 50% market share in India with capacity of 2.6 million ton, which makes us the largest, one of the largest top five structural steel tube company globally. In the last 10 years, we have registered a volume CAGR of 25% consistently. Every year, our volume has increased. Our profits have quadrupled to 400 crores in last 5 years. We are one of the largest consumer of steel in India, and we procure 2% of India's total annual steel production. We have 10 plants across India, and our total people on our payroll today is 2,100. And we have been able to create a massive distribution network of 800 distributors with a lot of focus on innovation R&D with 16 patent product designs. So why I'm telling you this is that the reason why we have reached here is because of our people. The motivation, what they have, the loyalty, what they have shown to our group, the teamwork which our people have been doing, talent, what we have been able to acquire and retain, and the wealth creation, what our people have done for themselves by being the part of this success story. And we believe that ESOPs have been one of the major driving forces to achieve this. So we are hitting bullseye with in many cases it motivates employees for retention. The employee satisfaction rates are high. We are able to take care of our employees as it leads to wealth creation. We are able to share success with employees. We are able to celebrate success with our employees. And the best part is that employees at all levels, whether it is low level, medium level, top level, everyone can participate in this exercise. Now, coming to our case study. Okay, so how it has helped APL Apollo. It has helped us to maintain our high profitable margins. Employee cost for APL Apollo Tube is 1.5% of its sales. Now, if you look at our peers like Kajaria, Havells, Asian Paints, Pidilite in other building material segments, the employee cost is 10% average, right? And we are at 1.5%. So we become profitable because of low employee costs. So we are able to compensate the salaries, the compensation through our ESOP program. 46% of APL employees have been with us for more than 5 years. So it leads to employee loyalty and retention. And the best part is that the attrition rate, the employee turnover rate is only 3.8% for us in last 5 years. Again, this is a very, very important factor that has been with us due to the ESOP policy. Now, our ESOP program, if you see, we have given ESOPs to 20 employees so far, and there have been like 4 tranches where we have issued ESOPs starting 2015. And out of 220, majority of employees got at the lower management, right, which is below senior manager, right, and then 50 out of 220 were in the middle management, which are AGM to GM position, and then 14 with the top management, which are VP and above. So what we're trying to say is that every employee in the pyramid at all the levels can benefit from this and has benefited. Now this is an interesting database which we pulled out. So like I said, we have had 5 tranches of ESOP program so far. We started this in 2015, where we had the dilution in our equity by 2.9%, which was the largest program, and then followed by 0.2, 0.4, 0.3, and zero point 0.4. So overall, so far we have diluted our stake, equity stake, by 4.1%, and we have been able to give benefit to 220 employees so far. The ESOP market value of these shares today at the current market price is 928 crores, right? And out of this, almost 95% has been vested. So 850 crore worth of ESOPs are with the employees, whether they hold it or they would have sold in the market. And the total shares what allotted to employees were 1.03 crores. So total ESOPs, what we issued so far is 1.03 crore, out of which 94 lakhs have been vested, which is like around 850 crores. The total dilution at the equity level is 4.1%. The ESOP program has created wealth of 3.8 crore per employee in last 5 years at today's share price value. So I mean, with the dilution of just 4.1%, we could create so much wealth for our employees. And this is the reason that why APL Apollo today is #1 structural steel tube company. And our growth, which has been 25%, we believe that this 20-25% growth CAGR is possible with the team what we have today. So we continue to enjoy the loyalty of our employees. Retention is easy for us, and acquiring new talent has also become very easy. So we as a group believe that ESOP has been the great program for the group, and we continue to invest into this program for our employees, so that we are able to maintain the motivation levels to the highest levels in the group. And our strategy has been very simple. Dilution, like I said, 4.1%. Promoters have been promoter family has been kind enough to ensure that this much of dilution can be absorbed by them, because then the shareholders outside promoter family, even they have been supportive of this program. We have never seen even one negative vote for our ESOP program. We have always got the approval, and we have followed a very direct route of scheme, wherein we allot fresh equity shares to employees at the current market price. So there is no stress on the financials, nothing on the balance sheet. It's on the current market price, and we always believe that whenever the program is initiated, still good value can be created in terms of the shareholder value, because as we continue to deliver 20-25% volume CAGR, our return profile continues to improve, market perception continues to improve, so the valuation of the company will only grow, right, with the growth in the profits and the multiple expansion also. So at any given point of time, we feel that there is 100% chance, there is very good chance of the share price performing well from those levels. And vesting period we have kept 4 years, so that the loyalty standards are maintained, and there is good enough lock-in period for the employees to stick to the company and to ensure whatever assignment they've been appointed for, they finish those assignments. So yeah, that's it from our side. That's it from APL Apollo. We are very much in favor of ESOP schemes, and it has contributed massively to our company's growth, and we continue to believe that it's going to do in future as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Abhinav. Thanks for giving the insight, the best slides which you have given. That was the message to everybody. The cost of employee, if you can reduce, then it will directly attribute to your profit. So to improve your bottom line, you have to take care of your employee. So thank you very much for giving this insight. And I hope that is a basic purpose of our program today, that we can tell the industry that these are the success stories in India which people have followed. So thank you. Now turn to Rajiv ji. Rajiv ji, you are the person behind the KI planning and policies. So what is your take on this, and what is your advice to all the companies? They can understand your success story and they can move on. Rajiv ji, you have to unmute, I think. So you are already unmuted, but your voice is not coming. Vivek, just check. Vivek, उनके बाद राजीव जी, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Rajiv ji, in the meantime, what I can do, you can talk to your team. In the meantime, I will request Malu ji to take up this, and when the Rajiv ji's voice is corrected, then we can start again. Yeah, Mr. Malu.
Thank you, Pawan ji. You have already given an elaborate description about the ESOP scheme, and that is followed by Mohini giving a very nice presentation, and Mr. Anubhav has also given the practical aspects of the ESOP scheme, how it is implemented and why, how it is helping the companies. So here I am from Surya Rosni. I am ED Corporate Affairs, and you know this Surya Rosni is a 48 years old company. We will soon be celebrating our golden jubilee in FY 23-24, and with an idea we have started before 3 years.
Yeah, you can.
We have started before 3 years that what something new should happen and how we should celebrate our success. You all know Surya is the largest exporter of ERW pipes from the country. We are the largest manufacturer of GI pipes, and we are the second largest lighting company. So with these are the accolades, we started our exercise and journey from the year 2014. We found that there are certain, we have two brands, Prakash Surya and Surya, but some organizational changes were required, some turnaround was required, and transformation journey was required. So in this process we have taken a lot of steps, and we noticed that the time has come where we have to recognize the efforts of the employees, and we have to also take their financial interest and them along with us, so that they are with us. So we introduced the ESOP scheme in the year FY 2021. We given the first range on October 21, where we have covered initial 66 employees, the key executives, and the middle level management. The scheme has been very successful, and we found that lot of interest has come of the employees. Employees started thinking on the top, not only on the top line, but bottom line also. Since a situation has come that you have to take the other employees also along with you. So then second scheme we have introduced, and that is about 1.5% of the equity of the company. And therein we have covered about 225 employees, which I hope is one amongst the largest coverage amongst the manufacturing companies. So this way, at this moment, we are covering about 3% of our employees. We prefer it to cover it through the trust route. We found that along with simplicity, we should have our objects fulfilled. We are having the cost of finance of the company is very cheap. It is less than 5%. Company do not need money. If I take the money from the employees, and if I increase my equity, that is not required. The debt equity ratio of the company is less than 0.5. Current ratio is perfect. Security is perfect. Company is making prepayment, and therefore we found that it can be a best use to buy the shares from the market and to give it to our key employees, including marketing. Here we covered marketing, section heads, production in charge, factory heads, everyone. So, for running of a ship, what you need? You need the captain, you need the maintenance persons, you need the marketing persons. So all them are covered. I have seen that after announcing the ESOPs and buying it from the market, but this means incurring the hard-earned money of the company, the employees has started recognizing the importance of this concept. The amount which we have invested, you could have created another additional facilities also, but we preferred it that we should give by purchasing it from the open market, so everyone understand the importance of our turnover story and the transformation story which we did. Here in our scheme, what we did is that we have given the scheme, we have covered about 230 employees. Our vesting period is 3 years. So we are covering one third. Since already we have covered 3 years in the vesting period, we prefer that there is no lock-in period. When the employees are paying the money, then why there should be a lock-in after payment of the money by the employees? We understand that is not a right. We have given a 3 years time period for exercising to employees after even vesting. They can exercise up to 3 years and then naturally they can do it. This trust route also simplify your process. There is no need of every time you have to go for issuance of the shares from the company. There is no need of getting these listed, and the process is not costly process. It's a much easier process. On the other hand, it do not require any sort of a dilution in the holding of the promoters. So this is a scheme through trust route, which is without diluting the equity of the promoters, and it is created by the employees for the employees. According to me, the ESOP scheme is nothing but it is an arrangement between the working hands and the company. So here the working hands interests are aligned with the interest of the company. This means if you are working well, market is recognizing you are listed, every minute there is an auction happening about your equities, and therefore this is clearly reflecting what a shareholder needs. There is no need of telling to any of the employees. They start understanding this, that whether I should increase the number of days working capital or we should reduce the working capital, whether we should borrow more or we should borrow less. I noticed that the languages of the employees started changing. So it has done miracles, and I'm really thankful to Moini and Pavanji explaining my team and devoting time with my officers and working with us. As far as the appraisal process is concerned, we have linked it with the tenure of the employment. Definitely that employee has to be with the company. So it is giving us a benefit of retainership. Even though without this scheme, Surya do not face any problem of leaving of the employees. Our employees are very loyal, but we wanted that they should be more profit centric. Brands are very good. In lighting, I just tell you that 82% of my sales is in the rural and semi-urban areas. So it's a very popular brand. Everyone has used the Surya bulb, and nowadays they are using the LED bulbs. So that has not been the issue, but performance criteria and more towards the profitability on sustainable basis. So it has helped us. We have engaged our HR department for the performance appraisal also. Part of the ESOP proceeds, we have carved out from the marketing incentive schemes, from the increments. In my company, I noticed that it was only fixed salary, except the marketing department. There you get we give certain incentives, etc. So here we carved out partly from the marketing incentives, partly from the increments. So although company is incurring this amount in case in buying the shares, but it is being brought out from the share of the salary itself only. The level of management, we have covered almost all HODs. We have covered the marketing managers, means this means at least 2 or 3% even from the branch, and different, we have about 7-8 marketing setups within the company. So all setups fully covered, whether it is export or it is PVC pipes or it is a steel pipe. So we have covered all the managements, and then the HR department is monitoring their performance. As far as type of scheme is concerned, we have selected the ESOP, not ESPS. We wanted that employee. We do not wanted only awarding them for the past services, but we want to link it with future performance also, and therefore we have gone for this ESOP. We know very well that if the shares could have been given at that moment, it could have resulted into a lower tax liability. But from where the employee is paying the tax, he will be paying the tax from his performance only, from his benefit only. So we prefer it has to be a ESOP scheme. Even the second scheme also we have done on the same basis. The objectives, already all the objectives are being discussed. So our objectives also I have briefed you. This is the objective. The scheme is working well with us. Every employee is very happy. It has also impacted the market, has also understood that the company really wanted to do something, and therefore it is working well. Thank you, Pawanji, for inviting me at this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I will request Rajiv ji to share his experience on ESOP.
Yeah, thank you, Pawanji. I hope now you are able to hear me.
Absolute right.
Yeah. So Pawanji, I belong to the KI Industry Limited. I started my career here since last 28 years before, when it was a partnership firm. Our company is manufacturing of wire and cable, and among the top 3 companies in India, having a turnover range of close to 5,000 crore and having the market capitalization of more than $1 billion company now. So our experience is very, very simple and very, very easy method, because we think that if the company is running for the business and making profit and for growth of the for the future, which ultimately result to increase all the wealth of all the stakeholders. Most of the companies are not understanding the key employees. Employees are the key stakeholder of the company. So our company realizes in 2014, then once we overcome after the foreign currency convertible bond repayment, because only the employees are behind the company, those who were running the show, and that's why we inducted a program of ESOP, wherein we have given the ownership to the top 10 employees of the company, those who were with the company since more than 10-15 year old, in all the range, whether it was in production, marketing, commercial, accounts, and as well as in the finance, everywhere. So that was the philosophy for us to launch the ESOP. Of course, we have taken the help of the corporate professional for launching this also. So our purpose was to give the benefit to the employee, those who have created the company, and they are working for the company since so long. So we chosen only the top 10 companies, so make them the owner of the company by giving them the ESOP. Objective of the ESOP, as earlier speaker told, that to motivate and create wealth of the employees. And at the same time, the remuneration expenses deferred on the happening of event. So company is secure, as well as employees also more accountable and more motivated to take extra responsibility and extra ownership. The benefit of giving ESOP to the employee is nothing but holding of an asset. If you see, when in the family somebody buy the gold, unless and until they are holding it, they are not creating the wealth for them. So same case with the ESOP. ESOP is a compulsory holding period. So that's why people are holding the assets. That's why they are able to create the wealth for themselves. And that is the whole intention behind the ESOP, while the government has launched and the company is giving to their loyal employees. So mainly the ESOP is considered for the past services or the retention of the employees for future years, so that employee can be motivated and sense of belongingness and ownership developed in the employee. In our case, since we have given the employee, those who have earlier we were thinking for giving to all employees, then we thought the ESOP pool will be limited. So we shared only with the top employees, So because they have devoted almost 15, 20 years with the company, and that helped very much. So first launch we created in 2015, which was for 4 years, 15 to 19, wherein we have given in a simple way at the market rate on that day. So we granted for 4-year bond at a 1/3 price of that period. So people created so much wealth for that, because our focus not was if we should be giving on the market or also, rather than our focus was to sharing the wealth with the employees, those who have created the company. In the second tranche in 19, again we have given the issue price of 50% on that day, so that, and now the whosoever we have given, they have taken a very huge amount of benefit. But one thing I would like to hear is, because ESOP is attached to the certain risk. You see, the once the ESOP is granted and exercised by the employee, they have to pay the full tax, because the difference of the exercise date, allotment rate, market price, as well as given the granting rate, has to be a normal perquisite. So it's shown in the balance sheet of the company as expenditure, though it is a non-cash expenditure, but in the employee's hand, it attracts the normal rate of income tax. So employee has to take care, and employee has taken the ownership as well as the risk, as the promoter of the company is taking the risk. So that kind of risk is also attached. So because of that risk, employees are supposed to be owner of the company as the promoter is taking the risk, so that the employees also the part and partial of this risk exercises. So generally, whatever prices are offered, it has a discounted price. Most of the companies, they are few companies are giving on a very less price. Few companies are giving a discounted price. And our Anubhav is telling and the Malu is telling they have given the current market price. So it's all depend on the company to company, what kind of mindset they are having and what kind of wealth they want to share with their employees. So in our case, we shared the wealth, whatever we created, so that our promoter has benefited, as well as our top employees got benefited. These are the various schemes, whether it's monthly yearly granting or yearly vesting, or cumulative granting or cumulative vesting. So it's all depending on the company to company. But those companies who have considered ESOP, they are recently been seen in a good corporate governance, as well as the good wealth creating company for all the shareholders as well as for the employees, because only the employees, those who are running the show, and unless and until these employees has been taken care, the company cannot be performed so much. So because of these things, our company has considered this kind of ESOP. And the practical aspects, one I would highlight here too is, whenever the employee exercise the option, they must at least to the portion which we are going to consider for the next ESOP, they must sell their ESOP, so that extra money they should not be blocked in the ESOP. Whatever money they initially block as a cost, that has to be basically regulated or in a manner so that the risk also should be minimized. Because you must have seen in the past also, few companies, I can name few of the finance companies or few companies where the ESOP was there, but all of a sudden, because of any environment or any company issues, these companies went wrong because of certain policies. So employee suffered a loss, and almost in their whole career, they have lost their saving also. So one should not see only the upside of the ESOP, they should also consider certain risk attached to it. So slowly, year on year basis, they should monetize the same amount of the new ESOP value, equivalent value, so that everything should not be in a single basket. It should be in a different basket. So that is from my side, and my experience with the ESOP is good, because it's the 8th year now we have given ESOPs to all the employees, and they are working as an owner of the company. So our shareholders are very happy, because we have given good return to all our shareholders since last almost 25 years of the listing of the company, and we are associated almost since last 20 years to you. That is from my side.
Thank you, Rajivji. Thank you very much. You have given a very clear message to everybody that ESOP is an indicator of good governed company. So if you take care of employee, employee will take care. This is the second message you have given. And third, the most important thing is that you have created this point that employee will be the whistleblower to protect their interests. So the hanky-panky thing should not be there in the company. So that is another aspect. So thank you very much for giving very good insight. And this will encourage to everybody to follow this and share wealth and knowledge. Prasanna, now it is your turn. You are from Karnataka Bank and the RBI has given instruction to the bank that they have to start. So what is your take on? Because no doubt you are a bank, but you are a private sector bank, and your experience and your things, and what is your view on this?
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me for this session, and I will explain whatever best I could from banking and financial perspective. First thing is, am I audible clearly?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah, from Kannada Bank perspective, we have experience of ESOPs for more than 1.5 decade. From old regime of SEBI regulations and new regime of SEBI regulations, we are at to sort of think and come out. In terms of the model is concerned, we are using ESOP, employee stock option plan, and we have issued at market price, and it is basically for the retain and reward. NRC takes a decision for whom to reward and how to reward. And the benefit is basically from the perspective of the number of options granted. The market price goes up, then they will definitely benefit. As like Mr. Anubhav was saying, market price definitely helps us out in taking it further. However, I just want to maintain 2 points about it. Is that let's go back to how the employee stock option plan actually started working in India. Much before in India, it was actually in United States, which currently the United States market is much matured in terms of employee stock options are concerned. And almost majority of the companies, corporates in America believe that the stock options are the best model of giving, incremental remuneration compared to the, regular establishment cost. That way, it makes sense for certain listed entities where they want to reward and retain top-notch people, because it becomes, as the triangle, the upper portion of the triangle will always be expensive compared to the middle and lower. So it makes sense for the companies to have employee stock options. It's nothing but revenue sharing model in terms of both the dividend as well as capital appreciation. So it really works from that perspective. When it comes to banks in India, 2019, the Reserve Bank of India has come out with a guideline for how the whole-time directors, and there is another definition called material risk takers, how the remuneration has to be paid. They said they have split it into 2 parts, fixed pay and then variable pay. Variable pay has to include some portion as share-linked benefits. Now it's such a a beautiful conundrum that if you understand, we know how to implement it, but if you do not understand, it becomes very difficult. So from perspective of financial sector is concerned, that a lot of developments are happening in the financial sector these days. Data has been the prime focus for everybody. Every tech company also wants to involve itself into the financial processes. But from the point of view of valuation is concerned, it is much more in terms of, financial sector has a lot to go now. A lot of technological advancement is going to happen. Considering all that fundamentals as a factor, employee stock option really works in terms of budding companies, also stabilized companies. So that is from my side in terms of views are concerned. As far as the RBI guideline, as Mr. Pawan was asking about it, is that the share linked benefit is so complex. There now what we need to implement is there is 2 parts in the share linked benefit that we need to give. Something called as upfront and something called as deferral. So in upfront also I need to give some component of share linked benefit, and also in deferral. Of course, in deferral we can go for ESOP or SAR. It is not an issue at all. But as far as upfront is concerned, the best model is to go for ESPS, Employee Stock Purchase Scheme, because it has only 1 year validity in terms of whatever cooling period. Thereafter, it just becomes immediately equitable. So from that angle, it is much more simpler. This is from my side in terms of ideas are concerned. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Prasanna. Thank you very much. Now, all 4 speakers, they have given a clear message to the country and to the professional world that ESOP is a wealth creation, wealth sharing, and to take the maximum advantage for the company. So how ESOP is useful, that we have seen, and these are the 4 examples are before us. Now, it's a advice to everybody that this is one segment which is non-cash, because no doubt ultimately it's a cost, but it isn't a cost to the company, it's a market cost, or it is a cost of future. So this is one good tool, an instrument to follow. Now, I have received various questions after listening to all the speakers. So what I'll do, because I have received various questions which are on common in the sense duplicate questions and some of the technical questions. So what I'll do, I'll ask these questions from Mohini, and anybody who has experience on this, please add value in this, so we can take advantage. Mohini, what is the best strategy for a startup, whether go to a direct route or trust route?
For the startup, I suggest that they will go by the direct route, because to create a trust entity in that structure at a startup stage is a costly affair. So they can go by the direct route.
So anybody who has a different view or anybody wants to add, just raise your hand so I can ask them also. Okay. Can ESOP be given?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with Mohini. Since in case of startup, they dilute the equity for raising of the funds. And therefore, there is no point doing it through the trust route. It should be done directly.
Okay. Mohini,
I
can
have 2 points.
Yeah.
Points on it is, one is direct route works for all the startups, but we need to understand one thing is the startups don't have much of a skill set to execute and implement these kind of models.
Yeah.
So they need some sort of a hand holding. So provided we have some consultant who's taking care of this model, direct route is the best model for startups.
Okay. Mohini, can ESOP be given to consultant and other service provider?
No, for the consultants, ESOPs cannot be given. Now, advisory stock options are gaining in importance, wherein the cash benefit through the equity value can be shared.
Any company has given the ESOP to consultant like us? Okay.
No.
So, okay. Acha.
The definition of employee is very clear in terms of SEBI regulations, in terms of listed entities concerned. Even in terms of Companies Act Section 54, it clearly defines what is the Rule 8. They clearly defines who is an employee. So it has to be a permanent.
When SEBI has changed this law, I was a member, and we emphasized that consultant, like doctors are going to various hospitals, they are the consultant to do something, but it is not accepted because it will take time. Okay. What is the best practice for pricing the ESOP grant? Whether it should be the current market price or face value or other price point?
I think industry panelists can give a better answer to that.
Prasanna, Maluji, Rajiv, anybody?
Yes. As you know, Rajiv has very nicely described that it also carries the risk. You have to pay the tax upfront before taking the delivery of the shares, before exercising the option you have to pay. And then there is a risk involved. So one part is that the pricing should not be at all at the par. It depends on at what time you declare the ESOP scheme, what is in your mind, what sort of a changes has happened in the pricing. So accordingly, and what is the paying capacity of the employees, that is also very important. You have the tax has to be paid upfront. It is not like that you can divide it by 12 and you can pay it on monthly basis. So I do not endorse, even in my company, Rajiv, I think I must correct to that extent, that we have also followed the policy that when we formulated what is the price, and at least, we should not charge more than 50% from our employees. So the best policy is it has to be at some discounted value. But, what sort of a transformation process has gone in? So maybe depending on company to company, it can be considered differently.
Okay, thank you. So Moni, how to effectively create an ESOP pool?
ESOP pool, definitely first important thing is that how much the promoters want the dilution, because ultimately the all the stakeholders' wealth get equally diluted in that ESOP. So first is that important, and second is that how much incentives and the cost the company wants to bear. So these are the things which determine that how much the ESOP is. Definitely in small companies, in the startup, when they start, they have a much larger base of pool, and when they grow, these percentage get done.
Okay, now my request to all of you, because I have received around 50 questions. So time is very short. So I'm starting rapid round. Okay. So anybody has some different view, then they can tell, otherwise go ahead. Okay. So Moini, when you are transferring share from existing shareholder to ESOP pool, whether normal share transfer procedure including SH4 needed to be executed, or it's a different way?
No, it's a normal transfer. Transfer from employee trust to employee. It's a normal share transfer process.
So SH4 will require
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether stamp duty or transfer of shares is applicable, Prasanna?
Sorry?
Whether stamp duty or transfer of shares is applicable?
No, see, the stamp duty in terms of share transfer is concerned, it is as Moini said, it is SH4. But in terms of allotment is concerned, there is no stamp duty in it. Until it is realized as an equity, there is no stamp duty involved.
Acha, Moini, whether we need to appoint an escrow agent in ESOP scheme?
No escrow agent until unless you are opting for some cashless kind of a facility for an employee.
So for cashless, you require escrow agent.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Yes.
Acha. Whether we need to reclassify existing authorized capital and do variance of shareholders' right for ESOP scheme, or it's a normal?
No,
generally,
see,
Prasanna.
see, you don't
Prasanna,
have to. Basically, authorized capital is the outer limit of which what the shares can be allotted. Whether you allot it to existing shareholder or you give it as part of the option scheme. Option scheme is basically you are reserving some stock, some shares out of the authorized capital by way of special resolution, saying that assume you have a 10 crore authorized capital and you have 8 crores as your equity paid up capital, and you would like to keep 1 crore as reserved for only for stock options. So that means over and above 1 crore, anything can be allotted to other shareholders by way of whatever means it is. So
Okay.
to that extent, you don't have to increase or decrease. It all depends on what reserves you have, how much of reserve capacity you have between authorized and paid up.
Okay, so there is an authorized capital, and in authorized capital you can issue shares to ESOP. That's not a special thing you have to do.
That is not an issue.
No
It's just
differential
only
treatment.
reserving. It is just only
No
reserve.
differential treatment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moini, very interesting question and message to all of you, because we have done work on SEBI insider trading rules. Is contra trade provision for PIT regulation applicable in case of ESOP?
Yes.
ESOP exercises, no contra trade restrictions are there, but and
Sale of
even on the
shares.
selling of shares of ESOPs, contra, they are out of the contra, but only the trading window closure period you have to take care of, and all the pre-clearances, UPSI information, that things you
All
need.
that will be applicable.
Okay. For ESOP buyback, do company need to follow provision of Companies Act?
Until they are not converted into equity. The
See,
buyback
the
provisions under
applicable for
ESOPs.
existing shares.
Yeah, it's
Options
applicable on the
vested,
shares.
Answer is
it doesn't
applicable.
matter.
Okay. Okay. Moini, do SEBI SBB regulation apply to cash settle SR?
No.
Any other different view? Okay. Can a private company issue cash settle SR?
Yes, anyone, listed, unlisted, private, startup, anyone can issue cash settled SARs.
What would be the effect of phantom option if the company eventually looks to delist its shares from the stock exchange?
For the phantom, or it's a normal equity?
Phantom.
Phantom, it's a kind of a compensation which you are giving to your employees. So as you are settling the compensation in case of, so there is no, I think in the delisting process, as per the company policy and the strategy you plan for the delisting, you have to go by that. So nothing special.
That policy scheme.
But you are going to a delisting, so company will there's no appreciation of the value.
So why But the companies unlisted are having their value. So delisting is because of some other factors. It's not that they are not getting the value. That's why they are delisting. So
Okay. A company issue notice to AGM containing agenda for approval of ESOP scheme under the elsewhere SEBI share-based employee benefit regulation 2014. The meeting was held after new SEBI regulation came into effect. The company need to amend the scheme. I think this is a very popular question. If you have started process, your board meeting has taken place before the law has come, and your shareholder meeting has taken place, then you have to follow the old law. But certain things which are beneficial and which are required, you have to follow the new law. Otherwise, you can go ahead with this. Okay.
Otherwise, also Pawanji.
Yeah.
Otherwise, also Pawanji, that in the new scheme there has been only relaxations. There are no restrictions.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But sometimes what is happening, if there is restriction, but you have already moved something, you can take advantage of that,
Yes.
that you have moved already.
Only the thing is that for the future grants, whatever you have given, that will be as per the old law, the terms you have given. For the new grants, there are few conditions of employee definition all which you need to take care. That's the thing.
Yes.
Okay. If the ESOP is offered to employees who are very close to retirement, should there not be some limit of time before retirement? It is certainly not for retaining an employee and reduce retiration.
Malu ji or Rajiv sir बताएं.
No, I think this question I can give answer. This
Very
is a
generic.
company's policy. Suppose you want to give for retirement benefit to your employee. So every time it is not retaining the employee, you are benefiting the employee also, whether he's on the verge of retirement or some other thing. So that depends
And
on
now, and even now, the SEBI has
It's a
given.
matter with, let me tell on this part. You know, when the ESOPs are granted in all listed companies, it is passed through the remuneration committee, nomination and remuneration committee. So all these aspects are taken care of at that time, that how the condition of continuation of employment will be fulfilled. So these matters are discussed and accordingly these are done.
And now the SEBI has also given a relaxation that even when the person is retired, as per company policy, the future vestings can happen. So now it has been resolved.
Okay.
Can happen. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. How ESOP are different from SRU, Moini?
RSUs. Sir, in the ESOPs, ESOPs are the employee stock option plan, which work either on a time or on a performance. In the RSUs, it's restricted upon the performance. As you done, nothing other restrictions are there. Immediately, these shares can be exercised and created in the accounts of the employee.
Okay. Prasanna, how to give exit in ESOP to a private company?
Sorry.
In private company, you have given ESOP. How to exit? How they can exit from the? How to give exit in ESOP of private company?
In this, basically, the ESOP is a right given to an employee. The moment it is vested, he has a right to exercise it at any given point of time. Now, it all depends on what price it is being given to him. If he is able to satisfy that price, the company is bound to give him the shares. The moment he gets the shares in his hand, perhaps he can take a decision on how he would like to transfer to somebody. But the only question here is in terms of private limited companies, restriction on the transfer of shares, again, we will have to go through board approval. That is, I think it's a normal course. But the process of options, the employee, it is the right of the employee which was already granted earlier. So there will be a contract between the company and the employee in terms of employee stock option is concerned. So nobody can break it.
Yeah, now in the private, adding to that, the companies are coming out with ESOP buybacks as well for giving them the exit, and the right. Companies who are getting listed, again, that become an exit mechanism. For them.
So buyback is an example. Okay, now, how equity can be given to consultant? I think this answer is...
Now, the only definition in terms of listed entities are concerned, the SEBI has made it much more liberal, as Malu sir was saying. The definition, it says, as the company may define somebody as an employee. So it all depends on who is an employee in terms of the company is concerned. Because earlier it was very stringent. Even in case of private limited companies are concerned, I think we need to go by section 54 read with rule 8. But there it is, I think, still the stringent provisions are there. So you can't deviate in terms of consultancies.
Maluji, company can be just selective to few favored employee for a grant of ESOP?
Sir, there is no harm. It may be otherwise also, whether it is favored or whether it is considered as a key executives.
Okay. Okay. Prasanna, how to disclose ESOP to employee or unlisted subsidiary as salary of such employee do not form part of the annual report?
I beg your pardon, I have not dealt with it, but I think I can tell you one thing is disclosure point of view, there is no much of difficulty in terms of employee stock options are concerned. You are not defining individual employee wise unless it is a key managerial personnel in terms of remuneration. So,
yeah, see, so for the disclosure point of view, it's a consolidated disclosure for subsidiary and holding company employees. So I think disclosure perspective, there is no difference. कि आपको अपना दिखाना and the people who on the subsidiary, they have to define their one.
Unless it is a key managerial personnel, it will be clearly a consolidated report. But if it is a key managerial personnel, you need to bifurcate and give the report.
Yes, but no problem in.
Okay, please. We have to finish fast. Moini, is company issuing ESOP at face value requiring to tax the gain to employee when share get vested to employees?
Yes, if there is a difference.
But at the time of exercise, not vested. At the time of exercise.
Correct. Is the taxation point is the exercising time.
Yeah. Okay. Significant crucial feature of to be included in ESOP scheme to protect the interests of the company with a specific reference to private limited companies. Moini.
Basically, definitely, to whom to give, when they will be getting, what are the target and what are the stages when they will be getting a liquidation of those ESOPs. So that will be very much concerned areas which need to be taken care of while framing this.
Okay. So my second last question. Can a private limited company include restrictive clause in the AOA with respect to transferability of shares subsequent to allotment on exercise of option under ESOP? Like the share allotted under ESOP should be transferred only to existing employee, director, promoter on the allottee leaving the organization or on his death termination.
Yeah, yes, it's a shareholders contract. So between two shareholders, so definitely you can put these kind of.
Okay. Maluji, when will tax implication come to an employee if ESOP are issued?
It is at the time of exercising.
On the date of exercise, only the tax implication.
Before the gains before the date of exercise is taxable at the regular rate, and then thereafter after exercise to sell, it is applicable as per long term or short term capital gain.
Okay.
So the exercising time is important.
Before starting operation, we gave out offer letter with ESOP. But now after 3 years, how do I frame policy? Still employee has to work for more years to exercise. Tax of employee if given ESOP is, what is your view?
ESOPs can be made effective because law is there. So once you have given an offer letter, but you can give only ESOPs when you pass it through shareholder. So that process you need to follow and then you can offer you can grant the ESOPs as per the offer letter. So tax will be paid in the future only.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. I have covered all the questions which have come. There were some duplicate questions. People have sent it to me in advance, but when we checked it, this is the duplicacy. So the program was totally different from the law, talking about the law and its implication. So today, the most important thing is the 4 people who have used the ESOP, they have come. No doubt, the ESOP is now will be a very popular. And the way companies are, last week, the Firefox was this company listed on New York Stock Exchange. And they told that there are 103 employees are crorepati. So you can understand that this concept is becoming very popular. And after the buyback, the concept in the private company is also becoming very popular. So today you want to employ somebody, you don't have money, but you can give them ESOP, promise that you will buy back when the company will grow. So both will take advantage. So now ESOP is not only for listed company, any private company, we want to reduce the compensation cost, futuristic cost they want to put that you have to do following things and you have to promote or you can do this. This is one exercise which you can do. Today morning, I was talking to Moini. Let's try that how we can give ESOP to our employee. So let's work out. So it means every organization should think and this is the best tool in your hand where you can create a wealth for your employee, commitment, and the position and the ownership concept. So this particular thing, in my opinion, this type of program will definitely create a awareness in the minds of everyone. But last, before closing, the future of ESOP, Maluji.
Sir, the future of the future scope for ESOP is very good, and the persons like it. It is a measurement. It is a tool of incentivizing the working capital partners for the company, and for any successful company, it is must. So this is my submission. Pawanji, few accounting aspects I will like to cover in 2 minutes.
Maluji, I have to take because
Okay.
people, we have to close it here. We will discuss some other time. Okay. And so my request that your point, we will take care of some other time because we will continuously hold this type of program. Prasanna, what is your take on future?
2 points. One is that the companies will get their valuations much better now compared to the decade ago, whether it is a startup, whether it is a mid-term company or mid-corporate company, or it's a large corporate. So the valuations are actually going haywire, but you can see them, what is happening in the market. So that is one point. The second thing is the fixed pay salary kind of a mechanism, what used to be there 20 years ago or 30 years ago will not work today. Every other employee is very intelligent enough, he's knowledgeable, he's highly informed what's happening in his company, what's happening in his competitor's company. So he is looking for opportunities to keep jumping around here and there. So in terms of commitment is concerned, we want to retain him. There has to be a revenue sharing model. The best revenue sharing model is ESOP.
Okay, Moini.
As now the companies have started recognizing the employees' efforts and the sweat. So I think the ESOP become one of a perquisite kind of a compensation, a mandatory part of any offer letter and compensation structure in the employees.
Okay. So thank you very much. We have tried to give all the answer. Anybody who is feeling that his question is not answered, please send it to us. We will give reply. And with these things, our knowledge journey will continue. Every Friday, 4 o'clock, we will share knowledge, our experts, professionals' knowledge, and the market participants. We are trying to create this type of system where we can give the answer of your queries and we can educate more and create a better ecosystem. So ESOP is one of the area where we want to promote, we want to create this. So thank you very much to all my panelists, Mr. Malu, Mr. Prasanna, Mr. Anubhav Gupta, Mr. Rajiv, and Mohini, of course, she's a part. Thank you very much to all. Thank you very much. See you next Friday on 8th, 4 o'clock. We'll announce the topic because there are some new developments are taking place. So we want to do it in this manner. Thank you very much.